Hello, we are a little late to the party, but forgive us, please do forgive us. It's Christmas, and I am all prepped up wearing my Christmas blues. It was on the 26th of December 2020 when you remember India started that comeback, that once in a generation comeback in a test series in Australia, and it will be on the 26th of December the next year when they begin another journey. This one is going to be in South Africa, as it is being called the final frontier, not just for Virat, Kohli, and co, but for Team India in general. They haven't won a test series in South Africa. And to talk about all that is going to take place, that can take place, I have with me Abhishek Mukherjee and Sandipan Banerjee. Hello, gents. It is a Merry Christmas occasion for us. It is Boxing Day test occasion for us. How are you feeling about this particular series and this particular occasion?
See, how many series have we seen in South Africa? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I think. Yeah, this is India's best chance. I felt like that this in 1992, but that was because I did not know what the South African Test side looked like. Now, India never had a better chance than this.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Sandipan, your thoughts?
Yeah, of course, it is India's best chance. Of course, I mean, look at the if you. I mean, first of all, we need some competitive cricket. I mean, Ashes has been too boring this time around, and pe- pe-
Yeah.
people, I think Abhishek the knows a bit thing or two on this, but people are thriving for some competitive cricket, and South Africa playing South Africa in South Africa, and this current generation of Indian team with their lethal fast bowling attack, it's going to be a mouth-watering contest, I think. So yeah, of
Yeah.
course, it is going to be India's best chance. Now I would like to see how the South African pitches, treat us in this three test series.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I think South Africa know that they cannot. I mean, if South Africa want to win, they have to use pace, and they will prepare their pitch accordingly. So they will play
Yeah,
four fast bowlers, and on that pitch, India will also play four fast bowlers. That is almost certain.
Yeah.
With what
yeah,
remains to be seen is
but
whether they play Ashwin or whether they play an extra batter. That is the only thing that
yeah,
remains to be seen.
but
Yeah.
last time I covered the South Africa tour, and in Centurion we had a subcontinental like wicket. I mean, after Cape Town, all those balls swinging around, all these green
Yes.
tops, we were surprised to see a subcontinental type wicket on the in Cape Town, and that on even on that wicket, Lungi Ngedi, I can remember he made his
Yes.
debut, and he got a fifer or something in
6 wickets, I
like
believe.
he got yeah, 6 wicket, yeah. So it is Centurion can be a tricky venue to start with.
Yes.
What I feel, Centurion is not the ideal venue for the Indian team to start with, especially when they are not playing going into the series without any warm up game.
I
Yeah.
think I would have loved India to start at Johannesburg. India,
Yeah,
after almost 30 years, are still unbeaten at Johannesburg. I would have loved India to start there. But
Yeah.
okay.
I wouldn't have mind Cape Town as well. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
mind Cape Town as well.
Well, a lot of things being said here. Quite a few things were said by India's head coach Rahul Dravid in the press conference ahead of the test match. One of them being that, he, of course, acknowledges the fact that we are living in a world where it's not possible to fulfill the demands of things such as a warm up match ahead of a big tour such as this. And another interesting thing that he did say, which has created quite a bit of noise on that bird app that we so refer to on this show. It is the fact that he said it's okay for us. We know our 11 pretty much well, and as a batter, I do have the curiosity to know what the opposition is going to look like ahead of a test match, but I don't see a point as to why the team needs to share their 11 ahead of the test match. 6 months ago, Sandipanda, you remember we were talking about the World Test Championship final and how India were going about by declaring their squad, their 11 or 12 ahead of that match. And here we go. New coach, first overseas tour, different method.
Yeah, I see.
I think I can remember another game. I can remember another game, the Lord's Test match in on the 2018
Yeah.
tour. I mean, India play declared their India announced their team before, and they had to play two spinners, and then suddenly, the game was affected by rain. I think most of the days there we saw gloomy kind of a typical English weather, and India played Kuldeep Yadav in that Test match, and he bowled only 9 overs in the entire Test match.
And also,
Yeah.
see, growing up when I was very young, I used to hear these stories about robbers in Bengal. So they looted basically yamindars and all that. And the a characteristic was they informed that we are going to attack you. So why is this why
Yeah.
is this prior intimation necessary? Why announce your team? I mean, they used to
Yeah.
say so many people are going to attack your household on such and such date. Why do you need to inform?
I think
Keep
from
it a
cricketing
secret.
point of
Keep
view,
it a secret.
if you I think from team point of view, I think it is to keep the players in the right frame of mind, so the players
Yeah.
know their role well and well. I think, but you can do
No,
it
no.
internally. You don't have to
I
announce it to the
Yeah.
press.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand informing it to the players, telling the players.
Yeah, yeah.
What I find really peculiar is I really don't get it. Earlier, it still made sense for the home side because they retained
Hmm.
the 11 or 12 players and released everyone else so that they can play
Yeah,
domestic cricket. That I
domestic
understood.
matches. Yeah.
Doesn't make sense
Hmm.
for the touring side to do that. Also, now you almost always need need the full squad because you're allowed concussion substitutes, you're allowed COVID
Hmm.
substitutes, and your substitute fielders also have to be from the squad. So right
Yeah.
now you
Hmm.
can't release players like that. So what is the point? You inform your squad that these 11 are playing, but why inform the others? Why
Yeah.
let the opposition know? Ruin the opposition's plan as much as possible.
That's what Rahul Dravid said in the press
Yeah,
conference
yeah,
today.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exciting to see how this coach captain duo is going to operate because we talk about the last time India traveled to South Africa. There were hopes and aspirations regarding that particular team
Absolutely.
as well. Many thought that that team might as well go on and win it, but this time, really,
Yeah,
that team
I
that
think we
began
had
the
to
journey.
chase. Yeah, in Cape Town, we had to chase two or four in the fourth innings, which we failed to do, of course. Yeah, and we won that final test match. So
Yeah,
imagine what would have happened if India would have chased down 2 or 4 in their fourth innings in the Cape Town test.
yeah, yeah, and it's sort of a full circle sort of a thing for this Indian team as well. Jasprit Bumrah made his debut on that last India tour of South Africa, and he was the youngest of the lot. Now we have pacers such as Mohammad
Mm.
Siraj and Shardul Thakur, who are no longer or can no longer be quoted as backup pacers because they are quite the brand in themselves. They can take the team to a win in case any of the uh, pacers in the trio of Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, or Ishan Sharma is injured. Might as well give them competition to make their place in the 11 if they are not injured as well, and we have seen that happening in the past. But let's talk about how the composition of not just this pace attack, but the other pace attack is going to look like. In the previous tours of South Africa, we've seen that India sort of didn't match the pace when it came to the home side, but now they do have the upper hand here, and also with Anrik Norkia missing the series, that's a big piece in the South African bowling machinery that's missing in the series.
I think, yeah, Nokia not playing has definitely blunted them. But remember, for 3 years ago, Dale Steyn, halfway through the first Test match, was ruled out of the rest of the series, and then
Mm.
they somehow
Yeah.
found Ngidi. So that may happen. I mean, just
Yeah,
because one of their main fast bowlers is gone doesn't mean that their pace attack is any. I mean, their pace attack can be taken lightly. I mean, Rabada and Olivier. I remember Olivier
Yeah.
playing, and he has not played Test cricket, but he has definitely been playing competitive cricket at a very high level. He's a
Yeah,
fantastic bowler, and Ngidi, Indians will remember him. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a very strong South African bowling attack. And the pitches, I said it just now, the pitches will be prepared throughout the series to suit them.
yeah,
We may see again test matches getting over
Yeah,
inside 3 days, 4 days.
yeah,
yeah. Mm.
yeah,
But I think whatever I have read, and that I think for the first few days we are expecting gloomy conditions in Cape Town. So yeah. So
2 days,
sorry, not in Cape Town. I mean
century.
in Centurion.
Then
yeah.
shall we say 2 days?
That's a
I
bit
don't
early.
think that it will be a green
That's a
top.
bit early. Yeah, but
Yeah,
let's see
but
how.
is rain predicted as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a gloomy condition. I have to check the latest weather update, but for the first few days, the conditions are expected to be very gloomy, and bad lights may come into play as well.
That'll be
Okay.
tricky. That'll be tricky for two batting orders, two batting lineups that haven't been doing really well if you take a look at it. Let's talk about India's batting lineup first. We need to mention that KL Rahul will be back in the mix now. Rohit Sharma, of course, missing this series, but KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal, that opening duo, if
Yes.
the two open, is going to be something to watch in red ball cricket. We've seen them do it for Punjab in the IPL, but this is going to be different. And Mayank Agarwal, in the form that he was in that Mumbai test, if he continues, we have that interesting debate yet again as to who are going to be the full-time openers. Shubman Gill, his sort of place in the 11 now looks a little bit seesaw. But apart from that, if you look at the middle order, that's been struggling and that's been the cause of concern. You look at Virat Kohli, Cheteshwar Pujara, and Ajinkya Rahane, the three in question. Hanuma Vihari and Shreyas Iyer in squad. Do you see any surprise changes? It's not so surprise changes, but do you see any changes in that middle order ahead of this first test?
I
I
think
would.
with Virat, yeah.
No, tell.
No, I'm saying that I think with Virat leading the team, we can expect him, to be more conventional. So the likes of Pujara and Rahane will definitely go. I think they will be playing in the first test. But it is high time for them. Probably the make or break series for them.
Yeah.
I would play Vihari, because the only
Yeah, even
reason I'm
I.
backing, I'm saying this is Vihari has got runs for India A in the. I mean,
Yeah,
Vihari is the
yeah, he has
only
been
one in the
playing under
series.
the same conditions.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. That is the only reason I would be backing Vihari. Now,
Yeah.
whether Dravid and Kohli would back Vihari for the same reasons is something else.
There was some social media outburst as well when Anuma Vihari wasn't announced in India's test squad for the New Zealand series. And, you can say there are a lot of fans out there
No,
who are trying to, get him in the 11 because certainly deserves a spot after that India A South Africa A series, especially.
yes, yes.
yeah, yes, of course.
Yeah. But will be interesting to
Look,
see how they line up.
acclimatize. Look. I think acclimatization is the key. I mean, Bihari, who has been playing on those conditions, I would have definitely played him ahead of someone, maybe Rahane, who is yet to, who has been struggling of late. He hasn't got in warm up game before this important series, and so I would have personally preferred Bihari ahead of Rahane at this point, but I can't see Kohli doing that, at least in the first test.
Yeah. There's an interesting comment here from one of our viewers. It's just reminding that once in a blue moon, series defining knock
Yeah,
by Rahane, last
yeah.
came in a
Who can
World
forget
A
that?
test. We cannot.
Absolutely.
It's one year
Is this?
anniversary.
I mean, that
But
is
this will
more
be
that
some
that
1 year anniversary if he doesn't make in the
yeah,
11.
and
That'll be some 1 year anniversary.
if we pick him, if India picks him based on the fact that it's a Boxing Day test, it will be an that is open to an astrological discussion, not a cricketing discussion.
That's a data call. That's a data
Yeah.
call. I am all
Yeah.
in support of that data call. Numbers tell a lot of things.
No, but I think Rahane in the last World Test Championship cycle, he was in the second highest scorer, right?
He
Or
has
highest
also
scorer.
played. He also played
Highest,
more
highest.
more matches. He was the one who. He
Yeah.
and Pujara were probably the ones who never got injured. Other than that, everyone missed matches
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
at
true.
some point.
That's true.
Yeah, but it did have three hundreds in that cycle. Two of them came in 2019, and then the other one in Melbourne. Three important hundreds. But let's see how the opportunities are going to come by for him in this series.
But
But
I mean, since we are talking about middle order, I think definitely middle order of the Indian team will be very rusty, very rusty.
Which
So
is all.
yeah,
Which makes all the more reason. Which is all the more reason why Vihari should play.
definitely.
He's the one who is not rusty. He's the one who has
yeah,
been getting runs in South Africa.
yeah, yep, yep, yep. Need to talk about someone who hasn't been getting runs in the last 2 calendar years, and there's been a lot of talk around him in the build up to this series in his captaincy role. But Virat Kohli, the captain, of course, has an important responsibility to lead the team to a win here. But Virat Kohli, the batter, equally has a big responsibility to finally show up. Many have been saying that, this might just be his year, 2022, as we said in 2021. But need to remember, there's a statistic to back this up as well. South Africa is a good place for Virat Kohli. No other Asian batter has an average of more than 50 after 10 test innings in South Africa. Now, that's
Also,
something
see,
that he'll take
Kohli
a lot
was
of pride in.
returning to form towards the end of the England series. He missed the first test in against New Zealand, and in the second test, in the first innings, he got out to a dismissal on which, we are still divided in opinion, I suppose. And in the second
Yeah,
innings, he played. He got. He was angry with himself at getting out. It was a nothing ball that got him.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he was. I mean, it's okay. He is there. He showed glimpses of returning to form. I think he crossed 44 times in England. He didn't get the big scores, but he was getting. He looked okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Had a couple
Centurion,
of
he
nice
has good
70s
memories
as
of,
well.
and he has good
Yeah.
memories of Centurion for the from the last tour, where he was exceptional. I think he scored. I think bulk of
More
the
than
run
half of
India,
India's runs. More than half of
more
India's
than
runs.
half an. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That 2018 for Virat Kohli and the Indian team when they traveled to South Africa, England, and then Australia. Now we look at 2021, they have traveled to Australia. Virat Kohli wasn't part of the team in those last two tests that took place in Australia. England, they lead by 2-1, and now it's South Africa. So it's a lot of things to talk about in terms of that complete cycle for this particular Indian team. But let's come on to South Africa as well in terms of batting. Who are the players you look out for most in this unit?
Elgar, Makram,
Yeah, of
Captain.
course, definitely
the
Elgar.
usual.
Definitely Elgar.
The question is who after them. Leacock, of
Yeah,
course, remains a threat, but who among the next batch will stand up is,
Yeah,
next batch. When I say next batch, I don't necessarily mean age, because
yeah,
some of South Africa's next batch is probably older than Makram. But yeah, when I say that, I mean experience in terms of matches.
yeah,
So an
yeah.
entire generation has retired,
yeah,
and let us see. These are tournaments from which future stars of future generations typically evolve. These are tours.
yeah,
Let us see.
yeah. Yeah, and they had the likes of AB Faf last time around when India traveled.
Hmm.
I was kind
Amla,
of thinking the other day, Amla.
Amla,
I was kind of
Amla,
thinking the
Amla's
other day.
dismissal at Johannesburg opened up the Test match.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that call from Faf du Plessis in the not so far away past where he decided to call off on his test career to play T20s and wasn't included in the T20 squad. I was kind of thinking he was the kind of player South Africa needed for this series. I mean, we're not going to talk much into that, but these are the kind of players you thought, maybe in this particular test series, you would have used someone like him.
If I have to choose someone to use, then I would choose De Villiers.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a call taken too far back in the past. That's why I chose the name of Faf du Plessis before AB de Villiers. But yeah, we're all used to our own choices. It's okay.
So essentially, yeah, I mean, this is a South African middle order. We are. I'll be interested to see where De Kock bats. I mean, I won't
Yeah.
be surprised if he bats at 4, 5, somewhere there.
Yeah.
I mean, if Elgar and Markram open, then and there are both of them get out early, I can't see
Yeah,
because
but
them holding
I
back.
think South Af. What about? I mean, do you guys believe that this South African team is bit top heavy? I mean,
don't
their
have a
batting
choice.
order.
They don't
Yeah.
have a choice.
I mean,
I mean,
still,
they have what they have. They have two openers whom we are. Elgar is experienced, but
yeah.
Markram, yeah. I mean, if you, Markram has been around for what 3, 4 years.
Yeah, he
We
made
are
debut in the last
holding,
India tour. I mean, in
uh,
2018 series, he made his
if
debut at
we
Centurion
we are
only.
calling him experienced. So essentially, that is where we are.
But they've been
Yeah,
confident lot. I mean, I remember Dean Elgar's statement before this World Test Championship cycle began. Straight away, picking up from the captaincy role, said that we want to make that spot in the final of this particular World Test Championship cycle, and they need these confident leaders. When you have that sort of a leader up front, it can only go two ways, but there's more of a probability it goes the better way if you have that confident leader. We've seen that with India. Right then, let's talk about some predictions ahead of the first game. Abhishek Da made a prediction, which I don't think we need to repeat here, a two-date prediction. Now, that's not what we want
So
right now, particularly from a Boxing Day
again,
test.
this is India's best chance, but that doesn't mean India are favorites. The team
Yeah.
with the best, in South
Yeah.
Africa, the team with the best fast bowlers win. India are best. India have the better fast bowlers on paper,
Yeah.
but on field it may be a different story.
Yeah. Sandipan?
I can see India winning this series. I mean, at this point, at the start of this series, because India have more experienced batting lineup. I mean, even
Yeah.
the South African batsmen will be rustier. They haven't played a lot of cricket recently too. I mean, they had that ODI series against Netherlands, which which was called off in the mid. But they will be rusty as well. So India have a better batting lineup, and on paper, as Abhishek has said, India have a better bowling attack, and India have a better spin. India have better spinners as well if we need.
And no, South Africa
Just the
will
one.
do
That's all we
whatever it
need.
takes to keep Ashwin out of the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They'll
But
have to be very
Ashwin, I can remember.
They will want a pace contest.
Yeah. But I remember Ashwin bowling exceptionally well without
Yes,
rewards in that last Centurion Test match.
yes.
So yeah,
I think
I
he got
mean, from
3
2018
wickets in the
onwards, he
second
is.
innings. Yeah, something like that.
sorry.
But in the first innings also, I mean, Ashwin bowled really, really well
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that match.
yeah, yeah.
He
And
Absolutely.
also batted
since
well.
2018 has been making most out of wickets that don't have much for spinners as well. He's shown that progression in his game as well. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Another exciting fact is the
But
last time.
remember last time India played a Sena test series in a Sena country. Ashwin had to, had to bomb up the benches for 4 test matches.
Yeah,
But
but
that
that
time
was
India had
But
against
Jadeja.
India don't have the luxury of Ravindra Jadeja in this series.
here.
So,
Here it is
Yeah.
going. It is plain and simple.
yeah.
If India play five, I think India will play 5
I
wickets.
can't see India playing 5 fast bowlers. I mean,
No, not
yeah.
5 fast bowlers. India play 4 fast bowlers, Ashwin and 5 batters. I think that is
Yeah,
how they are
that I
going to
think
do
that's
it instead of 6 batters. I don't.
Mm,
If you are playing to win, play five
mm,
bowlers always.
mm, mm.
But Abhishek,
Absolutely.
that's not fair. I think as far as picking up 4+1 or 5+0 combination is concerned, it will be Lord Shardul who will decide whether he's going to play or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Once the
if
team
he wants to
management
play
decides,
ahead of,
the team management may plan, but it's the Lord
yeah,
Shardul who decides.
yeah, yeah. It's Christmas time.
But
Come on, we can
I mean,
expect
I mean,
miracles.
it's an interesting combination. It will have India will have. I know it looks like
Yeah.
plain and simple, but we may be surprised that if Shardul Thakur gets the nod ahead of Ashwin,
Five
if the
pacers.
wicket, yeah, I haven't read anything about the wicket, so not
Yeah,
many
same,
journalists are
same,
traveling for
same.
this series. Yeah, so that's the thing, and
But
nothing on the
Tell you
social
what,
media
this
channels as well.
it is likely to be four fast bowlers in Ashwin. But I
Hmm.
I can't see five fast bowlers playing. Will they do that?
Tell you what, if Abhishek Da is confused, that means we can officially call this Indian bowling attack as the Marvel Cinematic Universe of cricket. They
Five
can
fast
all try
bowlers.
all the permutations, combinations. You want to see Spider-Man with a particular Iron Man in a movie, you will get that.
Yeah.
And just the thought of it is so
No,
intriguing in
think
itself, I
of this.
think.
Rahul, I am a lot older. I understand. I cannot imagine India playing five fast bowlers. Can you?
When was the last time India played? I think Vinay Kumar made a debut. When Vinay Kumar made his debut, right?
That was
Perth
four.
2000,
That was four.
2011.
That was four fast bowlers. Five.
Perth, Can-
Perth. It was
Perth.
Sehwag Gambhir. It was six batters and four bowlers
Okay.
and Dhoni. But
Hmm.
This was
five fast bowlers.
20. Yeah, I think it's exciting to say the
I think
least.
it must have been Sehwag Gambhir, Dravid, Tendulkar, Lakshman, Kohli, and then Dhoni,
Yeah,
and then four fast bowlers. Five
This
yeah.
is from
fast
the
Vinay Kumar
bowlers.
made his
2011-12
debut.
series. Yeah, yeah, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
But what if
Well,
India play five fast bowlers? We know this. In when Dravid took over, in
No,
India
what
played
about?
Pakistan at end of 2006. In one of the ODIs, India
Yeah,
played
yeah.
five
They
fast
played. They
bowlers.
played five fast bowlers. Yeah, one of our users has actually
Johannesburg.
come.
Yeah,
Dravid,
Johannesburg.
it
Yeah,
Dravid
yeah,
was
yeah.
Amit Dubey. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Joe Ball test.
But there in the Johannesburg test, as Amit has pointed out, the one of the
But
fast
Hardik
bowlers
was
was
one of the
Hardik
bull.
Pandya,
Yeah,
who
one of the
played a
Bardem.
Yeah,
blinder
the
in the first
all-rounder.
test match.
Yeah.
Who got that 93 in the first test match? I doubt whether they would have. Hardik could not. I mean, of course, we can always
But
argue
that's
that
the balance
Shardul is.
Shardul
If
adds
yeah,
to the
if
mix. That's the
Hardik can be
balance he adds
considered
to
an
the mix.
all-rounder,
So
why not
yeah, I mean
Hardik?
Shardul can do the role of Hardik, and then India can play four fast bowlers, right?
He
If the
did
And
that.
Shard,
He
conditions
did
allow them
that.
to
you
do
mean to
that.
say Shardul plus four?
Yeah,
Ishant
Yeah.
that's what India did. That's what India
in
did in Johannesburg 2018. Hardik plus
I
four.
know. Uh, Okay, I mean,
I mean, we have seen Shardul Thakur. The last time India played an overseas test, he
he
won
scored the
it
fastest
by that
history, fastest
50.
100 in the history
Yeah.
of Oval.
That 50 in itself was something else. So you might
And
as
he
well
scored
see
And
100
him
in the second
remember,
innings.
and
I
four
mean,
paces.
remember, after that 93, Hardik Pandya did not do anything with bat on that series. So I
Yeah.
can remember that.
The past is always dark,
Dravid,
Sandipan,
by
but
the way,
let's just stick to the present.
Dravid, the captain, always insisted
Yeah.
on pace. He had a very short stint as captain, but he played five fast bowlers on a tour of Pakistan. I'm not talking Sena. In an ODI, he played five
Two,
fast bowlers in an ODI in 2005.
Yeah.
I think
five. Yeah.
Zahir Pathan, Agarkar, Nehra, and someone else, maybe Balaji. I'm not sure who it was. I forgot. I have to check. But it was
Munaf
five fast
Patel.
bowlers. I clearly remember this. Maybe.
Maybe Munaf Patel. Yeah.
No, Munaf made his debut a couple of months later in England, against England at home. So against England at home, Srishant made his debut in the first test. In the second test, Munaf made his debut, and Srishant and Munaf he took to West Indies. And in England,
Yeah.
Zahir Khan returned from Worcestershire, and RP Singh came along, and then there was Srishant, and fast bowlers won the series in England.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
throughout, and Dravid, he was not as vocal as Kohli, but he insisted on pace. And I'm
Yeah.
happy
Yeah.
that Dravid and Kohli are now together. Both of them are keen on pace.
Yep. Well, good.
On realistically, I think Ashwin will play tomorrow. Let's be realistic, I guess.
Yes. I wouldn't
I mean,
mind 5 stars for a
there's
team.
no way we can predict
I
that.
told in the previous dive as well, 19 years ago, when India toured New Zealand and lost both test matches on green pitches,
Hmm.
Vettori played both test matches and did not bowl a single ball. Do we
Yeah,
want Ashwin
yeah.
to play like that?
Yeah.
Play and
But
not
no,
bowl. What is the point?
If Ashwin plays, he will bowl. He will bowl like 15, 20 or 15 overs a day.
Of course, if he plays, he's going to
But
bowl.
what if there is
The
nothing for him in the pitch?
There will be something. And most of the South African batting lineup is inexperienced. They haven't faced quality spin.
That is one thing. That is one thing.
So
he'll
yeah,
extract something out.
that is one plus point towards Ashwin. Ashwin bowls well against left-handers.
Yeah.
Quinton de Kock is there, so yeah.
De Kock
But
is
will
going to
South
be the
Africa
biggest
play?
threat.
Yeah, but will South Africa play Keshav Maharaj?
Oh, again, they are also not announcing their squad beforehand.
Yeah. Well, it's all
But I
going to
think
be
they will.
exciting.
England did that ahead of Oval. England left out Leach, right?
Yeah,
Ahead of Oval. So that was an indication that Oval won't be going to assist spinners.
Yep.
yeah.
Well, it's going to be exciting, and we are going to be here when it all is over. That is on the 31st or before, a day after it's over, actually. But let's finish it with a stat that we have. The last time India played a bilateral series, 3 T20s plus 2 tests, they won all the 5 toss. Yes, that was the record. What do you feel about this series? Who's going to win the toss, gents, tomorrow morning?
Oh,
In South Africa.
I'll give you a counter statistic. The last time India and South Africa played a test match, Faf du Plessis was so disappointed, I would say disgusted about losing the toss. He took Temba Bavuma along with himself.
yeah.
He took Bavuma to the center. So
Yeah.
du Plessis would lead, but Bavuma would call for the toss. And South Africa lost again.
Yeah.
Ranchi, right? Ranchi
That
Test
is
match.
yeah, Ranchi.
Ranchi, yeah. I was there.
But they earned a fantastic captain that day. They did. Fantastic future captain that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will
But-
Will
but
Kohli
that
will
is-
Kohli take someone to toss? That's the question.
He won the last toss.
Yeah,
We
he
can
did
always
in
say
Mumbai.
that.
Yeah, won that. Yeah,
He can
won
flex
the
his
last.
muscles on that. And
And
India won the
he
test
has a
match.
very good toss
India won
record
that
against
test
South
match.
Africa. I don't know what sense
Yeah.
that makes. I don't know what logic that makes. But
I don't know.
yeah,
Kohli has I think in Southern Hemisphere, Kohli has a very good toss record. In Southern Hemisphere.
okay, so
I think that's
so the
not
point
that big a
depends on the
sample
planetary
size.
motion. Yeah. Now, remember, Kohli has a decent sample size in the Southern Hemisphere because he started in 2015, 2014
Yeah.
We're
in
talking about
Australia.
South Africa. But you were
Australia.
talking about
Hemisphere.
South Africa.
Southern Hemisphere. That's half of the planet. And it's a large planet.
Let's just stick to South Africa, gents. And yes, that is pretty much it from us as far as the talk before this first test is concerned. We will bring you all the action through our different social media channels and on our website. Thank you so much, Abhishek and Sandipan, for joining me. Thank you so much to all our viewers and Mr. Amit specifically for your comments. Stay tuned to Cricket News for more. We'll be back after the